I've always wanted to emphasize when I talked about independence is I think sometimes people think independence means
just you.
Yeah, you do it by yourself.
It's
but
not that.
It's about liberation. It's independence, like in the same way that a state gets independence. It's about the agency and the ability to make your own decisions.
Soft sticks or loud sticks?
They're loud.
Loud. Yes.
One. Wait. Still take one.
I love it.
On this episode, I'm speaking to an artist who's always taken a chance on himself and bet first on his independence. Welcome, Chance the Rapper, to Select Conversations. I really want to just jump right into it. I am so impressed by you always. You are an artist whose comfort zone literally exists anywhere you are. And you're very multifaceted. You're Chance the cinematographer, Chance the screenwriter, Chance the festival producer, Chance of so many hyphens. So just, talk to us about how or what it takes as an artist to just let your guard down and give your full, authentic self to your audience.
That's a great question. I think that's what makes us artists, is that we're creative. We love to create. We love to make new things and express ourselves in different ways. But also, I think the thing that makes us performing artists or makes us musicians or painters is that we like to share our works. You know what I mean? So, like, I sing in the shower all the time, as I'm sure most people here do. But I take it a step further and want to put that shit out, I guess. I don't know. I've been this way since I was a kid. I grew up dancing, in a lot of different genres and ways and with different organizations and crews. And then when I got to when I was, I'd say probably 10 or 11, I think, I'd always written poetry because that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
But when I was like 10 or 11 was when Kanye West dropped the College Dropout. And that was when I was like, I want to do music with my poetry. I want to make rap, and that's just been what it has. I kind of really like stopped dancing too when I was around that age. Like that kind of became my language of like creativity. And so, I don't know. That's not a cool answer, but that's how
It's the answer.
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying
the truth.
rapper. We'll take the answer, right,
You know?
y'all? We'll take it, right? Exactly. You're an artist. You understand that a lot of different layers of vocals go into making music.
Yeah.
Who are you singing background for?
Who am I singing background for?
In the shower.
I don't really do as much background. I do a lot of that like solo-y vocal that's at the end of like the R&B songs.
So you're running up and down.
Yeah, you do it in between the words. That's more my swag. And I do that for the barge. I do that for Mrs. Carter for Beyonce. I do that for a lot of John Legend records, older John Legend records. But I'm also like a wild side kind of person. I like surprises and stuff. So I typically put my shit on shuffle when I get in the shower. Like I never know what's gonna come on, and I find old records. I find album cuts from albums that I never listened to, and I'll just play around with different sounds. Or sometimes I'll get in the shower with no music and just like make the beat on my chest like I'm in jail and just make my own song from scratch.
That sounds like a lengthy shower concert every single time.
No, yeah, I take showers for a really long time.
I bet. You know those memes that you see when it's like, okay, when y'all really thought I was supposed to be on my way to the club, I'm doing literally anything else. You're in the shower singing, having a concert.
That's me.
Yeah, that's what we know. On your climb as an independent artist, like you have like a decade plus under your belt already, and you're still very young, but I'm sure your no game was sturdy along the way, super sturdy. So talk to us about the types of deals that just weren't dealing. Like, why didn't they work? What did you need from them to work? And then just the affiliations you have now, like how that plays into your career while you're still independent.
Yeah, to be honest, it changed the reasons why the deals didn't work, changed over time and depending on the situation. I remember there was a deal that to me it did work. It was very appetizing to me. I had a $200K advance from some label that I won't say because I'm still cool with those people. But at the time, I was like, this looks perfect. It was like a 3-album deal with 3 options, and it's basically a slave deal. And but at the time, I was like $200,000.
Let's get the money.
You know what I'm saying? But I think in the beginning, the reasons why they didn't work was just because I didn't have the money to pay for a lawyer to so when every time they send a contract, you're getting billed, even if you don't sign the contract. And so in the beginning, I think what really saved me and saved my career and put me in a position to do it the way that I did was that I shut down accepting label offers. There's like a point in most artists' career where they go on like a label tour, where you go between New York and LA and you go to all the offices and talk to everybody and stand on a table and rap or do whatever they make you do in those rooms.
Look, we know the types.
I went through. I did the same shit. I didn't stand on a table, but I stood up and rapped my music in front of 2 people awkwardly, like in search of a deal, like the Cheetah Girls. But I was lucky enough to like get to a point where I was overwhelmed by the amount of contracts that were coming through and the changes and stuff, and I didn't have no money. And I just told them to shut it off and wait till my project comes out and then start sending deals. And that project ended up being Acid Rap, and so I never had to sign nothing, and because it was really good. And then as time went on, it became more like, then it was like, okay, these deals are, in the 7 digits now, and they make sense as in terms of the capital that they're supplying. But now my autonomy or my agency is being taken away because I'm locked into someone else's schedule as to when I can produce my projects or where I can distribute or how my publishing gets administered. So I started to learn a lot of stuff after Acid Rap, just being friends with people that were in the industry that were like tired of their deals or just like, kicking free game to me. And now I done talk so much shit, I don't think nobody wants to sign me. like at this point, I just think it's like, but also like we're in a space of like, we're in a time of globalization to the point that like, so the biggest artists in America now are Nigerian artists. Like you can make your music go anywhere and everywhere. And the way that they do their music over there on the continent, like they not getting fucked over the same way that we are. And maybe some people are, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we are the beginning of the recording industry in the United States. And so we got the oldest tricks in the book, literally. So,
we wrote the book of tricks,
you know what I'm
arguably.
saying? So I think like over time, one thing that I remember that I didn't get till late in the game, but it really like showed me the parallels between our lives and something that sticks with me. Dave Chappelle taught me once. He said, you gotta gain hold of your yeses and your nos. You gotta always know your yeses and your nos, and you be the one in power of it. And I don't have to reiterate Dave Chappelle's whole story, but he's got one of the most famous nos of all time. And years later, he's the most respected comedian in history, and for good reasons. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, if you hold firm in your no's and you hold firm in your yeses, then it gives people the opportunity to value you for what you really are.
It does. Along the way, I'm sure your team had to morph and shape shift and really adapt to the times. What did that path look like?
Well, I always say like, put your friends in positions of power so that they can grow in themselves, but they can also protect you. So work with your friends always, but like, for one, there is no right way to do this business. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a million ways to go about it.
Absolutely.
And the way that I went about it was there's really no roadmap. You know what I'm saying? Other than staying a local artist. So I really had to be intentional and, and persevere in what my decisions were. To remain independent, to stay living in Chicago, to do my own festival, to do my own this or that and that. And, I would say that my team, which has always been quite a few people, like, they've always rolled with the punches for the most part. Like, they've always, like, been willing to to mold into new roles and the new positions and new ways of, interacting or going about distributing stuff. And also like the people that are still around and the people that come around, like the thing that I love is that they trust my vision.
Right.
And
That's
fuck
important.
trusting my vision. They see my vision through, even if they don't trust it, even if they don't believe it or understand, like, why would you want to do a concert in Africa? Or why would you want to you work with painters to put out your songs? Or why would you want to do whatever it is? Like, sometimes they ask me to look at it as to, like, why would you do this? But at the end of the day, they still go and make sure they see it get done. Especially in spaces of, one thing that I would say I saw everybody evolve in. There's people on my team like Bob Zegler, been on my team since 2012.
Wow.
Since 10 Day, and did my first tours with me, and he's still to this day I'm pretty sure he's in here filming me right now. He's in the back over there.
Hey, Bob.
Shout out to Bob. But all of my team has had to grow in recognizing who they are and the space that they take up.
That's important.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like you go into it with a fear or like trying to make sure that, because sometimes, even though I'm a very nice guy, I know what I want and what I need, and I can be, expecting to get certain. A great example is last night I played Jimmy Fallon, right? And if you've seen my recent performances, they're very tailored to like my new aesthetic and how I
Yes.
do stuff. My text is on the screen, the composition of the shots.
You're superb, by the way.
Thank you. I'm a
Indeed.
cinematographer.
You doing your thing.
But I'm going into other people's spaces when I'm doing this, right? And I'm
Right.
going on broadcasts that are held by like giant corporations, and like you might say you want something, and they might say no, or they might say they don't think they could do it. And what empowers me is that my team can go and say, this is Chance the fucking Rapper. Are you kidding me? We're going to get this done one way or another. You know what
We're
I'm saying?
going to do it this way because we trust his vision, we understand and embody his vision,
Yeah.
and this is what we feel is best for the brand.
Exactly.
And that, to me, those are amazing qualities to have in a team, and that's exactly what you innately need, just as you, to be the
Totally.
best possible you. Because if people stutter stepping and projecting that on you, then you'll stutter step and get frustrated, and then it'll cloud your creativity. So
Fully.
That's
it can
amazing
make you
to
feel
hear.
small, If you have a vision and you say, hey, this is what I need, and then somebody tells you that it's impossible or it can't work that way, or you think you're going to get a no, like, it can naturally make you, that's influence immediately.
Exactly.
And when you have people grow into their space of recognizing how important they are, because I'm Chance the Rapper, but everybody at CTR is Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They have
we
to
are,
be.
So it's like
a Megatron of everybody that is you.
we come together like Voltron and we get shit done. I've always wanted to emphasize when I talked about independence is I think sometimes people think independence means
Just you.
Yeah, you do it by yourself. But
not that.
it's about liberation. It's independence, like in the same way that a state gets independence. It's about the agency and the ability to make your own decisions. And us as artists, we have to be respected as real thinkers. Like, maybe we're not logistics people all the time. Maybe we're not always the best at communicating ideas in the office. But like, in terms of forward thinking and how things should be, we have to be respected as the thought leaders. And so when you have a team around you that can say, oh, that thought is what you want to see come into reality, that's what you want us to materialize, we got you. Then it's like you're just unstoppable after that.
For sure. You love a good surprise, so let's break it up and play a little game.
Okay.
We're gonna do.
I do love surprises. I just got excited.
I
right?
just in my mind, I
In
just
here.
came up with something like, because I'm that friend too that'll just make up a random game and be like, hey, y'all play this game, and then everybody busts out laughing. So hopefully I get the same reaction from y'all. Y'all my friends? Y'all my friends? Okay, cool. You my friend, Chance?
I'm
You
your
my
friend.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna throw out a word or a person and just tell me what comes to mind first, like just quickly.
First word,
Okay. The Chicago Bean.
dirty. Ooh.
I mean, a woman just licked it the other day on social media
You
and looked at all of
what?
us. Yes, she did. There's a video going around of a woman who put her tongue on the Chicago Bean
She
and
was
was
from
like,
out of
I
town.
don't understand what's wrong with it. And everybody was like, ma'am,
Yeah, no, that's
coronavirus.
next
what's
level.
going
Even
on?
before coronavirus is like the first.
Like, why would you do that? Like, that's
Ew.
everybody's
I'm
bean.
so
Well,
grossed
it's not
out.
your bean. It's Chicago's bean.
No, people literally come and just touch it. That's
And
the
take
whole
pictures.
thing that people do is wipe their hand on it.
Exactly.
Somebody licked it.
She did. Gross, exactly. This one is a little deeper, so I want you to just take it wherever it takes you. No one word, no one sentence. Freedom.
Liberation. Now.
Ghana.
The gateway.
Elaborate.
Ghana is. All right, I gotta go way back in time right now. Okay?
Please, take us there. Y'all ready for a history lesson? All right, let's
It's
go.
not gonna be that in depth, but Ghana, which was at the time known as the Gold Coast, was the largest export of Africans, especially when it comes to Jamaica and the United States. 50% of black folks here can trace their lineage back to Ghana because they had one of the largest slave castles and also grabbed peoples or captured peoples from other regions way far up north and brought them all out of that port. And so we have a innate connection as a gateway out, but also in 1957, 65 years ago now, Ghana liberated itself from British imperial powers and colonialism with this guy named Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. And when he did that, he made it known that his goal, his life's work, was to create a free Africa and to create a global black network where all black people could be connected. And so from the first day that he was in office, he had always implored black people from the islands and from the UK and from all over to come back through that way. He made their flag contains the black star that Marcus Garvey made, and it's a sort of like a beacon to let people know that this is where we need to head. And so when I think of Ghana and I think of all the things that country has accomplished in 65 years and the emphasis that they put on global connection. It's the only African country with an Office of Diasporan Affairs where you can go in as a black person from anywhere and feel welcome and be welcomed. And the fastest pathway to citizenship for black people in the world. So when I think about Ghana and I think about the feelings that I got when I was there, I do think of liberation and independence and freedom. And I think about how much this space is calling for us around the world to be in connection and in community.
That is so poetic, and your deep understanding of the importance that Ghana not only has to its continent but to the world.
To the world. Really
makes it so much more clear why you're doing the work that you're doing in Ghana.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yo, you're definitely doing. So the festival that you're planning, let's start there.
Let's start with the festival.
What is that process like? Because again, you are Chance, literally insert anything that has to do with anything creative and entertaining. So what hats, which versions of Chance have you been able to tap into? What new versions of Chance are you learning?
Every side.
Just take us through the process.
So it's been a cool process. It's a team of me and about 7 others, including Vic. Shout out Denisha. Shout out Micah Branty. Shout out Duimo. Shout out Alvin from Afrochella. Shout out all the people that are making this thing happen. It's not just me by any means. And the whole goal is like, I don't want this, when this is all said and done, it won't be, but I do not want this to be focused on me. I want it to be, this is a mass demonstration of our global relevance and the space that we naturally take up and we should take up. But I basically started on this concert in January with this small group of people from different backgrounds in tech and marketing and licensing and festival production and education, and it started with a conversation about how black artists, the biggest artists in the world, never end up with routing on the continent. We're never back on that side. Like we play in Europe for sure.
Y'all run down in Europe.
You only need one hit to go to
Exactly.
Europe. But we go to Europe and we don't just play in like London, we're also playing at Reading and Leeds, and we're not just in, Berlin, but we're in Cologne and in, Frankfurt, Germany. Like they put us everywhere, but they never put us on the continent. I've played Asia, I've played Australia, I've played New Zealand. And that's the same story for most artists, definitely black artists. And we talked about how the appetite exists out there, how some of some great stories in terms of reactions from fans that I've gotten all happened this year when I was in Ghana, because they love us and they see themselves in us. And I think we started off with just a conversation about how to bring artists there, but then we started to realize the impact that this has, the March on Washington, the Million Man March, these moments of large gatherings of black folks, and even when it's not 100% politically aimed, even when it's just Freaknik, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even when it's just a Juneteenth barbecue, we need spaces where we can be free,
and
where we can be enjoy,
Yes.
we can listen to music, we can dance, we can bring our kids, we can look at art, we can try new foods. We deserve and need those spaces, and also those spaces is where the real important conversations happen.
Absolutely.
Not on Twitter, not on Clubhouse, not even an iMessage. Sometimes we need to speak in confidence and have conversations amongst ourselves that are global conversations. It's not just about being American, because that's not our identity. That's where we are, and we do, we're a very important part of this country, but it's a part of us. It's not our identity. And so when we get to recognizing who we are globally, we have to hone in on that and make those spaces special. So my main thing that I've been working on in the festival is obviously artist relations. I don't want to say I'm overseeing production, but I'm working with the producers.
You're putting your 25 cents in.
Yeah, I know how to throw a festival too. I've done this before.
Yeah.
And but it's it's really just an opportunity is how I see it, right? Every year at the end of the year, a ton of expats and also people that are first or second generation immigrants to different countries. Those black people from West Africa or with lineage to West Africa usually go back home during the winter months in December. There's a big thing where since I was young, I can remember people going back that had direct ties. And in the last few years, since 2019, which was the year of the return, 400 years since 1619, Ghana started putting together, different things on a government level to make sure that tourism, inbound tourism from black folks was an important and emphasized and protected thing. And in those 3 years, I've come to realize that is the epicenter of blackness. And if we can get more people to understand that there is enjoyment to be had and there is love to be seen out there, the closer and closer we could get to that point that we're trying to get to.
For an independent artist looking to become export ready, for their music to be received in any place outside of the U.S., what advice would you have for them?
I would say stay true to what you do, whatever it is that is your sound, that is your language. People relate when something is genuine, not just because it pertains to them. You know what I'm saying? People can sniff out things that are not authentic. And so
Sure can.
On the surface level, don't just start making Afro beats because it's popping, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do it because you love it, and then still put your flavor on it. But
and learn about it.
And learn also. Obviously,
take your time.
I would say the best thing I would say for independent artists is continue to create, grow and cultivate your fan base, and travel. Travel is important. That's been one thing that's really helped me be more connected to the people and the fans that I have around the world, but also it makes it real for me. It makes me remember how far spread my voice is. So when I go places, I've been just in this year, I've been in London and Paris and Venice and Florence and Ghana and a bunch of places around the States. And everywhere that I go, I get love. We're in New York right now. I'm not from here.
People clap when I walk in. Love, y'all. Let's just get that. Yeah, get the blood flowing. Yes.
But sometimes I rap, and I don't realize that people love my rap, they love my music, they love my videos, they love what I put out. But sometimes it's as simple as just being in the same room as me and hearing me talk that makes people be like, oh, I super fuck with this nigga. Like, he is, I already liked it, but now I love it. You know
No,
what I
your
mean?
aura is whatever color is the most pure and amazing. Whatever color that is.
Your aura is too.
We'll say it's blue. Or
My
purple.
aura is blue. For real, for real. I just realized also I'm wearing my Ghana pants right now. And these are my favorite
Ooh.
pants that I own.
Super steezy.
Yeah.
Let's do a brief fit check. Everybody check them out. Y'all see? Come on, get up. Yeah, Chance, yeah. Favo. Okay, talk to us about Chance, the cinematographer. So you directed the video for The Highs and the Lows with Joy Badass, right?
Highs and the Lows, I co-directed with Troy
Co-directed.
Gaino, who's
Okay,
one of my
okay.
childhood friends, an awesome filmmaker. But I was basically the chief photographer. I was the director of photography for it. So basically what the DP does is they set up shots. They're like, like your intention is how you tell the story with the frame. So everything from lighting to focal length to, composition to just what you see at that given moment. Like right now, I'm on a lock shot. It's a static shot where this is the edge of my frame this way, and then I got a little space over there. And that's dope for my style of visual language because I always center my word as the subject. So in the video, if I was rapping and this was my video, my text would be somewhere right here, and it would look like I'm literally making the words materialize by talking. And that's what I have fun in doing. Actually, it's a little bit over here. This is the center.
Because
Sorry.
I was following. I'm
It's a
seeing
double screen.
it in full right now.
I'm looking at a monitor, but right here is where my words would land, and that's what I'm like studying and trying to perfect in my visual interpretations of my music. Is like, how do I make it look like it sounds? And to me, that's what it looks like. When I hear highs and the lows, it looks like black life and joy and pain and all the things that we go through, but just captured and documented. It's naturally art. I don't have to like doll it up at all.
Got you. So project by project, does your team have telepathy with you where they can already kind of ascertain which version of Chance is coming to the project or what role you're playing? Or how do you communicate with your team? Hey, I'm Chance, the director of photography right now. This is my job. This is what I need everybody else to do. How do you run that?
It's very unorganized. Taryn's laughing right now. One of my managers is laughing right now. But I'm a lot like, who works like this? Kanye definitely works like this.
Okay.
Like, I'm very like, I will be randomly like shooting the shit, just talking about some random shit, and something will spark like a thought in my mind, and I'll go on like an hour-long rant about why we need to, I don't know. I can't even think of like a good example. I have so many extremes, but like I'll just be like, team, we're going in an overhaul because we need to open up a museum exhibit in the next 6 weeks. And I know nobody here ever worked at a museum or knows anything about contemporary arts.
But you gonna learn today.
Exactly, that's my swag. And you know
Okay.
what they do? They learn that day.
That's
you
so
know?
empowering though. Even if you do have, high, low, mid extremes, still everyone understands the purpose of their position
That was
and they
wild.
understand, and they also understand how important it is. And that's empowerment. And I can tell that just with you being the nucleus, you really do empower your team to not only make informed decisions, but to just kind of pony up and get shit done.
Yeah. No, they're all like, I don't work with no weak people. All the people on my team are extremely strong-minded, strong-willed, irreplaceable people. So, like, but sometimes you got to remind people that. Sometimes you got to be like, this is who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta pour in.
You know what I mean? And they're all great at receiving that. And I think yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy I'm with my peoples.
Right. I feel like this has been such a masterclass on just success and independence and being an artist that is of many talents and building teams and all that. Like, this is a great amount of knowledge. And for an artist who has done so much, you're literally the only artist who's won a Grammy by streaming only. Did y'all know that? Black history in here, okay? Truly. Yeah. So what type of knowledge do you think is missing out there in the independent artist realm. What do you know now that you didn't know that you feel someone needs to hear you say about their independent artist journey, what's important, and just how to reach their own levels of success?
What do I know now that I didn't know then is advertising.
Talk about it. That's what we
So-
call alternative monetization.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I wear several different hats. No pun intended.
Threveral.
Yeah. That's hilarious, though, to me. Threveral is very funny to me. I definitely, like, understand the business around music, right? But I'm also, like, a market-resistant artist. Like, I like to get access to people. Like, I don't care about the paywall. I don't really care about monetizing as much as most people do, though I probably should. I don't. And I think, like, on the other side, I am an artist. Like, I'm a creative
Through and through.
So, like, I'm creating with that first thing in mind, that I just want to make some art. It doesn't matter if it makes sense as long as it's dope. I think artists don't realize that other people outside of the fans and the consumers that way, a lot of the people that we work with are working with our music as a commodity, and they're figuring out ways that they can use it to sell things. You know what I mean? Like, that's the cream of what people look at your music for, is that it can create capital, typically through, you know, partnering with other people and using your music to sell something. And whether that's through, like, product placement in your videos, or you doing a commercial with somebody, or, you know, but it's all advertising. Actually, the reason why we have music radio is because of advertising. Like, that was the whole point of the radio.
It bankrolls it still to this day.
No, very much so. The term soap operas, right? Do you remember, like, when we were kids and your parents watched, I don't know, General Hospital,
Passions,
or All
General
My Children?
Hospital.
Like the term soap opera comes from the fact that those same shows existed before television was in our house. So people used to listen to soap operas on the radio. And then, as opposed to having music playing all day, you would have these dramatic stories being told. And in between those stories, you had commercials.
You did.
That's how people advertised. When they weren't doing billboards, they had commercials on the radio. And the whole point of these stories being told was to keep the listener engaged until the next commercial came up. The commercials were typically for soap. So they called these operas that they did at the time soap operas. But that's where when they got rid of those stories that they was telling, they replaced it with our songs, where our artistry, our storytelling became that in between like, we think about it when we're listening, like, damn, it's all these commercials playing between the music. No, it's all this music playing in between the commercials. We're selling stuff for people. When we go to the Grammys, we're there so that people watch TV until those advertisements that they sold come back up on the screen. So we are bringing people somewhere at all times. When they give you a big deal to be on a label or to do a TV show or to do a check, it's because they want those bodies to go there so they can sell something. And we just have to be aware of that.
Right.
It's not that it necessarily means you need to be anti-commercials or anti-whatever. Like, do what you want to do as an artist, but recognize that you are the driving force for people coming places, that you are the reason why people show up to the festival or watch the Grammys or listen to the radio or buy the gum or buy the shoe or buy the whatever. It's because we make good-ass beats and good-ass raps. Like, that's the whole thing. We are culture. We are the reason why there's a diamond industry that's still living today. We are the reason why why niggas buy foreigns. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this shit is coming off of us. So once we get all the way connected and get in community to a point that we're all moving towards the same goal, we could tell them niggas, fuck you. I'm not selling no more
Period.
whatevers, you know?
Exactly.
And I'm sorry to say that. Also, I forget that we're in the translation building. I love brands, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Look, thanks, Ally, for sponsoring
Shout out to Ally,
this
man.
podcast.
Are we not supposed to curse on the show?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't ever ask.
He said curse more.
I was like, oh, really? Shit. All right, Chance the Historian. Let's give some snaps for that. Again, so poetic. So poetic. So I heard from somebody on the streets that you are going to perform for us today. Is that true? You're confirming?
I am. That was supposed to be a secret between me and that dude on the street that told you that.
But you know, rumors get started. You know, I got my ear to the streets. I'm 10 toes. Now, I'm from Atlanta, but I'm in New York. Right. I know the tea. So I think we should get prepared for that. What y'all think? Y'all ready?
Hey, y'all. All right. My name is Chance the Rapper. I'm just doing this. The highs and the lows. The highs, the lows. I'm an emotional roller coaster. With highs so high I could put bowl on a poster. But when the bread get low, like 4 loaves in a toaster, or the shoulders can get cold as 10 toes in Nova Scotia. Some days I hold a grudge, some days I holy ghoster. Some days I just ghost her. Some days I'm supposed to. The crib feel like a gunfight, but them strollers, that's the holster. We can make amends over old memes and mimosas. My mama know I ain't make my bed, I'ma lay in it. Whether it's sandpaper, suede linen, whether I'm alone or Creole lady marmalade in it. Same pajamas I was afraid in. I boogeyman slayed, my blankets concealed a blade in it. Emotional seesaw with 2 fat motherfuckers with strong knees and free fall. It's cloudy with a chance of meatballs, I check the weather. I gave all my vices a call, let's get together. To talk about the highs and lows, the ups and the friends that I had to hide to come up. They told me that I knew you always come around, come around. Come around to work out the highs and lows, the ups and downs. No need to hide, the skies is coming down. No higher promise, you're coming down, coming down, coming down. When it's hard to keep your eyes on the road, and you feel your back's on the ropes. You gotta take the highs with the lows. You gotta take the highs with the lows. Lost and you're running out of hope, and you're looking for the best way to cope. Just know we all been there before. You gotta take the highs with the lows. Thank you, guys.